everyone, it's me again. I'm Lena and I'm from the Healthcare Landscape Group. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my third edition, which is about pie charts. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about four main parts. The first part is introduction to pie charts, where I'll be explaining about what is a pie chart, what it is used for, how is it helpful to us, and then we will move on to the next part, which is making the pie charts, where I will cover all of the steps that we need to make a pie chart. Moving on to the third part, which is the applications of pie charts in healthcare and real life, and I'll also be giving some examples. Then we will move on to the example problems, and I will be giving some pictures and illustrations as well. Now, without further ado, let's get started on our first part. What is a pie chart? Well, a pie chart is a graph to show information. There are lots of ways to show information. For example, we can show it in a bar chart, a donut chart, a line graph, and so many different things. Here, I can show you some ways to show it. Ways to show information. We have the histogram, the bar chart. We also have the bubble chart, radar chart, waterfall chart, pie chart, line graph, area chart, tree map, scatter plot, box plot, as well as so many more, as you can see here. Scatter, spider, bar, column, pie that we are talking about, and gauges. Now for pie chart, it is extremely useful when creating a well-designed document that is intended to people that will not read the data. They will not read the data on that piece of paper, but they will instead look at that pie chart and then analyze that. That is the first question. What is it used for? Well, pie charts is used for expressing data. We can express it in slices or parts. If you ever seen a pie chart, it looks like a piece of cake or a pizza or a pie. How is it helpful to us? Well, it is helpful for comparing the relative sizes of groups of data and helps to organize data as well. Moving on to the second part, making pie charts. There are 5 main ways that I have found to make pie charts. Those 5 main ways are firstly organizing data. The second one is calculating fractions, calculating the angle, and calculating the percent. Last but not least, drawing the pie chart itself. Let's start first with the first one, organizing data. How can we organize data? Well, the easiest way that I find is to organize it in a table. Take, for example, this problem. A coach wants to make all of the jerseys or for all of the shirts for her team. She has 4 main sizes: extra small, small, medium, and large. We have 60 players in total. 5 for the XS, 10 for the S, 26 for the M, and 19 for the large. That is the frequency, or the number of players for each size. How can we calculate this? We take this for example, so we could better illustrate that in our mind. Firstly, how can we organize data? Well, we will put it in a table. Well, first, like this, I've organized this before. We will have this in this column and this in this column. Then we will leave 3 columns behind it, which will consist of the fractions, the angle, and the percents, which we will fill up later. Then we will move on to the next part, calculating fractions. How can we calculate fractions? Well, if you look here, in total there's 60 players. And 60 players is the denominator because that's the whole. 60. And then we will take turns giving out the numerator. 5 over 60, 10 over 60, 26 over 60, 19 over 60. Those are the ways to calculate the fractions. We don't even have to calculate that. Then we have to calculate the angle. Now have you ever thought of a circle or a circle before? Well, if you have ever looked at a circle, you might think that it is 360 degrees. And if you think that, you ever heard someone say that if you turn around your a whole circle, we will have 360 degrees, or the Earth revolves around the sun 360 degrees. That is 300 degrees for you. And then, if we want to make a pie chart, since the pie chart is the circle itself, we will multiply by 360 degrees. And then we can do this mentally. So I have calculated this before, so I can save time in this. 156 and 104. That is all the angles for you. Then this will be useful later. I will explain how. Then we will talk about the calculating the percents. How can we calculate the percents? Well, have you ever looked at a chart like this before, and you see that they have all of the percents? You might think that they will give it randomly. No, they have a way to calculate that percentages to be exact. Now for the calculating percents. Firstly, we have 100% because that's the total. We will divide by 60 planars because that's the total of the frequency. Divide by 6, and we will approximately have 1.7%. Then what we will do with 1.7%? Well, we will multiply it by each of the frequency. For example, if we multiply it by 5, we will have 8.5%. So I will move this sticky note over here so it will save some space. 1.7 times 5 equals 8.5% times . Those are all of the percents for you. Now that we have all of this in hand, we will fill up the table that we have. The fraction, the angle, and the percents. Then we will move on to the next and final part, drawing the actual pie chart. How can we draw the pie chart? What tools will we use, you might ask? Well, to draw a pie chart, we must use 5 main tools. So let me get the compass right here. And yeah. Now, what are the tools that we use to help us to make a whole circle or make a pie chart? There are 3 main tools, like I said before. The first one is the compass. Here is the compass that I have at home. Here are the 2 compasses that I have, so we can draw the whole circle. Then we have the protractor. There are 2 kinds of protractor that I have. The complicated one and also the traditional one. So we'll work with the easier one, not the complicated one. But the complicated one we can use if we are older and if we like. Here is the easier and more traditional one, if you can see here. This, we will have the degrees in it. And this will help us to measure degrees and draw the whole circle. So let's draw the circle here. We can draw the circle, find the center, there. Now if you are using a compass, you need to draw it on a piece of paper with the pin, the needle, the sharp end at the top, and here is the pencil, which we will draw it. But make sure that it needs to be exact, okay? Then if we find the point, we can use the protractor to measure the point. Now you do it. You do that. we have the angle and we have the percentages. All we have to do is draw it. How can we draw the angle? Well, if you put it in the center, put this in the center, the 90 degrees here, this one in the center, then we can measure the degrees and then we will draw it. Then after making the whole circle, we can put in the percent. So let me do just an example that's not related to the topic, but we'll let you know how to do it by yourself. For example, let's say this is some percent, and this we will have to draw the exact angle in on the protector. That is how we make a pie chart. Moving on to the second part, the third part, which is the applications of pie charts in healthcare and in real life. Well, in healthcare, it is used to do a lot of things. For example, the diabetes, it can use to show the mental health, how much does it contribute, the cancer, the cardiovascular diseases, some people that are most likely to get any diabetes, chronic respiratory diseases. Those are just some of the examples in healthcare. It can also be the causes of the 30-day readmissions. For example, the infection, GI bleeding, other bleeding, cardiac, acute stroke, device complications. Those are just some of the examples of the 30-day readmissions. And as you can see here, here's the pie chart. There. Do you see it? Then we have the number of students. Here are the number of students in the football team. Number of students in the extracurricular activities. And yeah, those are some of the real-life examples. But mostly it is used to show data in some professions that include dealing with statistics and large amounts of information. For example, the medicine or the healthcare, some healthcare and medicine professions. That is for all for the part. Then we have the examples part. We have three main questions. Since we have already did the first one. The first one is draw a pie chart. We can draw a pie chart here, 50%, which is orange, 25%, which is green, and 25%, which is blue. How can we draw a pie chart? Well, it is easy. First, we will draw a circle, a full circle. Then we will have the center here. Then we will divide it, because I already know that 50% is half of the pie chart, and 25% is 1/4 of the whole pie chart. There we go. That is the first question. The second question is find the missing slice. How can we find this missing slice here? We have 50%, 25%, and 13%. Now, we already know that 25 plus 25 is 50. And how can we know the missing part? Well, this part whole is 25. So, what number add by 13 makes 25? Think about it. If we have 25 and then subtract by 13, we will have 12. That is the missing slice. We have the last one, the ice cream sales. The flavor and the frequency. The flavor is the lemon, the mango, the strawberry, and mint. The total is 100. The frequency is 45, 25, 20, and 10. I will let you have a minute to think about what we have learned and then apply it to this example. You can pause the video right now so that you can do it. Have you got the answer yet? Well, first, like I said before, we must organize the data, which I already have. Calculate the fractions, which I will do. 100, 25 over 100, 20 over 100, and then 10 over 100. Then we will calculate the angle. We will each multiply it by 360 degrees. What will that be? well, if we take, I will use a calculator here so it will be faster and we could save more time. Times 360 degrees, this will equal 162. Then we will take 25 over 100, and then we will multiply by 360, which is 5 over 100 times 360. This will equal 90. 20 over 100. Then we will multiply by 360. This will equal 72. And the last one, 10 over 100 times 360. This will equal 36. That is all the angles that we have. Then we will calculate the percentages. Think about what we have learned. How can we calculate the percentages? We will take 100 and then times 100%, then divide it by 100%, then we will have the answer, which is 1. 1 times for everything, and then we will have the degrees. We will have the percentage. We times something, 45, times 25, times 20, and then times 10. And there we go. We will have all of the answers that we needed. There. That is all the things that we have to do. Then we will just have to draw the pie chart, which I will let you to do it. Those are all the answers. Now we just need to do the pie chart. And that is the end of the fourth part, as well as the end of my whole third day edition. If you have any other questions or comments or any ideas that you want to add to my video, then I will be glad to hear. Thank you for listening to my video, and I hope to see you in the next meeting or next video. Goodbye, see you soon.